Hey everybody, what's going on? Eric here. Today we are going green.
What? Hit it!
The Epiphone DC Pro in wild green.
Yay!
Alright, so today up on the bench we have, wait a minute, that's not right. Alright, so this is better. This beautiful Epiphone DC Pro in wild ivory. Beautiful guitar, I have to say. I picked this thing up off of eBay, bought it as a bid, and roughly these things go for a brand new $5.99. And the guy who owned this thing even stated that he really didn't play it. He really didn't do anything with it. And it kind of shows that in the condition that it's in, it is like brand new. So what are we looking at? All right, so the DC Pro by Epiphone is what they call a Del Rey double cut design. All right, and me, I'm a sucker for the whole Les Paul style guitars, and yeah, so this has kind of got the same thing going on, exception it's been cut out over here, double cutout. So what are we looking at as far as specs on this thing goes? Well, for the body, it's a mahogany body with a AAA flame maple veneer. Yeah, it's a veneer, sorry guys. Still beautiful though. And let's see, so the neck is a mahogany neck with a custom C shape to it. Scale length of this baby is a 24.75. Yeah, fretboard material is Paula something like that. I can't say it. Anyways, it's not rosewood, let's put it that way. 12-inch radius. Frets are medium jumbo. Graphite Tech bone nut. So it's a not plastic up here. Kind of nice, kind of nice. Let's see, it's got the block inlays with the triangle pearloid and abalone. Joint as far as being a screwed on neck. Yes, screwed on, not bolt on. That's like stirred, not shaken. It's glued. It's a set neck on this puppy. Let's see here. So we have a locking tunematic bridge and basically a normal tail stop. So the tail stop on this looks like it may be locking also. And Grover 18:1 ratio tuners. There is no pickguard, as you can tell. Truss rod is a two-way truss rod. Truss rod cover, basically it's a 2-ply with the DC Pro carved into it. So what's the other specs of this thing? So let's get into kind of like the electronics of this thing, the nitty-gritty part of it, you know. All right, so as far as electronics, you're looking at a Epiphone ProBucker 2 4-wire pickup. All right, now these are plug and play. The bridge is an Epiphone 3 4-wire. Neck and bridge volume with a push-pull coil splitting and a treble bleed on the neck tone control. So basically you have your coil splitting, and then you have your neck bleed on your tone. This one here does nothing, he's left out. So yeah, that's, oh, the last thing about it is this thing was designed, which when I mean designed, I mean the nut was cut for 10s, but you could put 9s on it. So everything that I'm telling you about this guitar is stuff that I learned about it. I'm not using any cheat sheets or, what is this? Wait, where'd this come from? No, you didn't see that. Okay. Here we have an empty nester. Very spacious, very roomy, for sale. 10% down, and your payments are as low as $7.99 a month. Alright, so the only thing I've done with this guitar was basically make an unboxing video. I haven't done any setup or anything else with it. Basically went from the box to the wall. Been hanging around for a while now. And I've been working on things as they come in. So right now what I want to do is kind of check the setup of this guitar before the actual setup. So I want to check the pre-setup before the setup, actual setup, something like that. Oh, okay. So the first thing I have to do is tune this thing up. So I have my little tuner right here, and what I need to do is kind of like match up the sound from my tuner to the guitar. So basically what I got to do is kind of blow on this thing a little bit. So it's going to be oh yeah, it's out of tune, so I'm going to have to fix that. Guitar's all tuned up, plugged it into my trusty little tuner, and so now I want to check out to see what the action height is. So I got my action height tool over here, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of like see where I'm sitting at right now with this thing. So I am looking at right about 5/64 on the low side, and on the high side I'm looking at 16th, a little bit under a 16th, more on the side of 3/64. So that's kind of where I would kind of send it at, right about, you know. So right now I want to check out the neck radius, or not neck radius, the relief in the neck, sorry, my bad. And for that I'm going to need my capo and my feeler gauges, so let's go ahead and do that. So I've got my capo right here, and I'm going to be applying this to the first fret. So yeah, it might be a while, so you might want to hold on. I have to wait till it clamps down. Right, so I got my capo on my first fret, and I'm going to fret right where the body meets the neck and check to see. Oh, there's nothing. There's nothing here. There's no, I don't even have to get my feeler gauge to check that out. There is nothing here. So all right, so we have to add some relief to this thing. All right, so I got the screwdriver that I'm going to need to remove the truss rod cover and get into there to check out to see what condition, or to give this thing a little bit of relief before I end up taking the strings off and stuff. So let's go ahead and remove the truss rod cover. Truss rod cover is removed. So let's see if this thing is going to, if I'm going to be able to move this truss rod, make sure it's, so I think I'll be able to get in there with this to adjust that truss rod, make sure that that truss rod is still moving. So let's, all right, so the truss rod is a 4 mil. Slipped off, get in there you. Oh yeah, she moves freely. Not a big deal. That's good. So what I want to do is I want to take these strings off of here, and yeah, so I'm going to start cutting some strings off of this guitar. Alright, so I got the strings off the guitar, and gotta love these locking fucking tail pieces and bridges that Epiphone puts on here. I gotta say that, yeah, they're nice. You can get the damn things off. So what they have is a little sleeve inside of here with a piece of metal that kind of is bent out. Same thing with the tail piece. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if I get, where's my, okay, here we go. See that or not? It's kind of like a little piece of metal that are bent out in there. And a nice Epiphone is stamped on the back of it. So first thing I want to do right now is to make sure that my neck is level. And why do I want to do that? Because I want to check to see how these frets are. So I've got my level, and I'm going to place it on top of the fretboard and kind of check. Well, that bubble is really far. Oh, wait a minute here. I have to level out the whole guitar in order to see if that neck is level. What am I thinking? Alright, so I have my correct straight edge here to see if this neck is level. It's got a little bit of a back bow in it right now. So 2-way truss rod. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. A bit more. Alright, so I got my flashlight, and what I want to do is shine the flashlight between the frets to see if I see any light coming through. And I'm good. The neck is perfectly straight. So I'm going to go ahead and put that aside. Take my photo out. These frets feel pretty good. There's a couple of them towards the bottom that feel a little bit a little sharp, but other than that they feel alright. But you know what? I want to do the fret ends up on this thing really good. So I need to shrink this wood down a little bit. So I think I'm gonna try this. Come on, light. Alright, so I've got my file for doing the fret ends up. I think this will work out really, really good. So let's get started with this. Here is my pet dragonfly. He's a good dragonfly. See? I could pet him. He's real nice. He was looking at you, kid. Hey, that is much better. So now I'm going to take my rocker, and I want to see how these frets are as far as, you know, being level with each other. So I've got my rocker, which this is kind of nice because as I'm on top of the fret going back and forth, it's got a gauge on there. I can actually watch the gauge move to see actually how much it's off, right? Isn't that how this works? No, this is the total use. So let's go ahead and see. The frets are not bad on this thing at all. They're pretty damn good. Yeah, the frets are good on this thing. I don't have to do anything. Look down the side of it. Don't notice anything that is higher than the others. So on to the next step.